Hi, and welcome to the Day Trading for Beginners podcast. My name is Tyler Stokes from Stokestrades.com, and this is episode 13. And in this episode, we are going to do a quick recap of sort of where we stand in this journey to becoming a full-time day trader. And then I thought we'd talk a little bit about mindset just to sort of wrap up the video. So at the time of listening to this, we are at the sort of end of February, beginning of March here. And I'm recording this a little bit earlier. So we are on track to do what we plan to do in the first 2 months. We've sort of reviewed everything about sort of stock market basics. And then I've got into starting to open up a brokerage account. So in the next episode, I'm going to talk all about choosing your brokerage account. So these episodes are sort of recorded a little bit in advance. So we are certainly on track. And if you have not downloaded my 6-month blueprint that sort of shows all the steps that I'm going through in the first 6 months, you can find that in the show notes, or you can go to stokestrades.com/blueprint and you can download that blueprint. So those are the steps that I'm following in the first 6 months. So what we've done so far is we've done a sort of review of some stock market basics. We talked about stocks, what they are. We talked about bonds and ETFs. And then we got into commodities and futures. So trading commodities with futures. And then we spoke about short selling and options. And then we talked about Forex in the previous video. So those are like the main areas that you can trade when you become a day trader. And looking forward with the strategy that I think I'm going to go with, we are sort of loosely following along with that real day trading group from Reddit. And again, that's in the 6-month blueprint. And their strategy is more about stocks and options. So I feel like that is going to be where I'm going to start when we sort of get through the first 6 months and we start actually looking at some day trading strategies. But certainly you might be more attracted to the Forex market for various reasons, or maybe futures and commodities. I sort of like the idea of trading commodities. So I can see myself potentially looking into futures as well. But, we did a recap on everything, and that's sort of, going to be something that you'll need to decide what strategy you want to sort of go with, what area you maybe want to specialize in. And again, I think for me, I'm going to focus on stocks and options. So, in the next month, we're going to open up a brokerage account, and then we certainly are going to talk more about trading options and some strategies with that. So we are certainly on pace right now. Again, you can download that blueprint and you can also come join us on School. We've got a private community where we are sharing and sort of meeting together. We've got accountability partners that we're building in order for us to stay consistent on this journey to become a full-time day trader. So that was a quick recap. We're doing well. And we're in the next phase. So what I thought we'd do now is just kind of quickly talk about mindset and the importance of your mindset when you're going into this journey. And sort of by sharing my mindset in the early stages of this journey, I'm sort of just hoping that it can encourage you to maybe focus on yours and sort of become a bit more aware of how important your mindset is. If you do like any sort of research in this profession, it's pretty clear that mindset is a huge component. There are many trading psychology books about trading that are out there. And I think they're out there for a reason. It's a big, big part. And, why I think mindset really matters from, some of the reading that I've sort of done already is that there seems to be several ways to make money in the market, and many successful traders, they often sort of contradict each other regarding this, but they're very, very much on the same page when it comes to one thing. You need to learn how to minimize losses. So you need to build the proper mindset for becoming a successful trader, because minimizing losses often comes down to having a strong mindset. And there's certainly a lot of factors in there, but you need the discipline to study and become successful on a paper account. And then you need the right mindset to limit your losses when you actually start trading real money. So as you embark on this journey, it's certainly wise to check in and sort of see where you stand in terms of your mindset, your belief system, and then understanding maybe what your weaknesses are. So we're going to get into that here. So firstly, let's just talk about, why people fail with sort of any new venture or, and particularly trading as well. So there's a lot of reasons. I'm just going to cover a few that I've sort of come across here. So what I've sort of noticed is that there aren't a few ways to be successful in the market. There are many strategies. We talked about all of them. You can do Forex, you can do futures trading, you can do stocks and options. And then within those, there are actual tradings. Swing trading is where you trade, a little bit less frequently, every few weeks or months, whereas day trading, you're getting out of trades every day. And even within, day trading, there's strategies involved. But there sort of does seem to be a few common reasons why people end up losing their money. So the first two here sort of deal with actually starting and being able to reach the stage where you're actually trading real money. And then the other ones have to do with trading real money. So first of all, if you want to get rich quick, day trading has the aura of maybe being able to do that for you, but it's certainly, when you get to the reality of it, it's not a get rich quick system. You're not going to be a successful trader in 6 months. You will end up losing your money if you don't attack this with a proper plan and treating it like a real business. And you just can't get it all done in a short amount of time. Now, the time that you can is certainly going to depend on how much work you can put in. So, never say never. Some people might be able to do all this work and have a great grasp in 6 months, but the reality of things, it's going to take you much longer. You're just not going to be able to learn everything you need to learn, and then get practice, and have a strategy that you've been using for months, and then move over to a real money account. You're just not going to get rich quick in day trading, and get rich quick just doesn't exist anywhere. So if you kind of have that mentality going in, then you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot before you even start. And then having a plan and treating it like a real business, that's really, really important as well. And that's what we're doing here, with this podcast, and with this journey, is that we're treating it like a real business. We're taking it seriously, and we're doing all the steps that we need to do. And then once you get into actually trading, this is what I found in terms of research. Again, I haven't started day trading myself, but people that get emotional during trading leads to losses. Over trading and trying to overcompensate for losses is not a good thing. And then when you just can't manage your losses, either with your strategy or just with your emotional state, all these things will lead to people failing, losing out their money. And all these things have to do with your mindset. They're all mental. So it sort of seems like it isn't a bad strategy that's going to cause beginners to fail necessarily. It's bad execution from a weak mindset. So all these things are mental. Your mindset is really important. So at the time, of, making this podcast, I'm currently not a successful trader. However, I have mastered, the first two reasons that we mentioned above there, basically in my past work. So sometimes, when you're just starting out, you can sort of look to your past results to help you get through the learning phase of this sort of journey. There's a lot to learn. If you can sort of lean on stuff that you've done before, you can create a better belief system in yourself, and you can have some better expectations. And that's certainly what I've done. So I have a plan. I'm following it. I'm sharing it here with you. You can download, the 6-month blueprint, and I'm treating it like a real business. And I have a realistic timeline and realistic expectations. And I think I have that because in the past, I've built a successful online business, and I know that becoming successful in anything requires a plan, dedication, hard work, and consistency. But I think, a lot of people don't know that. If you are just, perhaps you've never built a business before, or you're just sort of someone who's had a typical 9-to-5 job, you might not realize how much work really goes in to being successful when you're starting your own venture. So day trading, you're sort of needing to learn this on your own. There's no like school that you're going to go to. You're going to research. You're going to find information online that people share, but you're sort of learning all of this on your own. And if you've never sort of done that before, then you might not be aware of how much work and how much consistency you need to become successful. So, personally, I've seen many beginners starting their own affiliate marketing business, because that's the business that I've done in the past. And they expect quick results and easy money, and that just does not work. So instant gratification is your enemy. So if you have, the wrong expectations coming into this, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. And it's not to say you can't do this, but it is to say it's difficult, and you need to have a really good discipline, and you need to stay consistent. And if you have done something in the past that you can sort of lean on to increase your belief that you can become a day trader, then that's really, really good. And that's sort of where your mindset comes in. So you're going to have to find something you've done in the past, whether it's, you've graduated from university or college, whether you've been promoted, you've achieved something in athletics, something that you can look to and say, hey, I've done that hard thing. I can really do this day trading thing, and I can build this business for myself and have some realistic expectations. So I think that's important. Personally, I've done that, and that's why I've approached day trading with this journey and this realistic timeline, and this 6-month blueprint to start with, and doing everything properly, because I know that that's worked for me in my past business. And I know that when beginners start doing, affiliate marketing, they don't do any of that, and then they quit and they're unsuccessful. So if you study people who've been successful as entrepreneurs, they will tell you as well that hard work, consistency, and giving yourself enough time is really, really important. Now, there's this other thing I want to talk about, which is called the process of wealth creation. And I sort of knew all these steps sort of internally, but the marketer Alex Hormozi had a video about this, and it was just explained so well that I thought that I would share it here, because I've shared it with my affiliate marketing students who start affiliate marketing, and I share this process of wealth creation with them, and it helps them understand what they're about to go through when they're starting their own affiliate marketing business. And it's what we're going to go through as well when we are starting to become a full-time day trader. So becoming a successful day trader, it's not a linear journey. It's a process with several stages. So I want to go over these sort of 5 stages here. And in the show notes, you can find an article to this particular podcast. And there's an image that I have drawn there that kind of goes over this. And it's a really good visual. So you might want to check that out. It'll be in the show notes. But basically, there are these 5 stages. So the first stage, if you can envision this, that you're sort of on the top of a cliff or top of a little valley. And we'll call this first stage uninformed optimism. And what this is it's like the initial excitement about an opportunity. So think of day trading when you first found out about it, or you first thought about yourself doing it. You're sort of optimistic, but maybe you're uninformed about all the things that are involved in it. There are chances for you to be your own boss, make a lot of money, make your own hours, trade the market. It's exciting. You're trading stocks and all that sort of thing. So you're optimistic, but maybe you're a bit uninformed about what really goes on. So then you go into step 2, and you're sort of going down this sort of hill. And this step is called informed pessimism. So this is when you realize that there's a lot of stuff involved. So if you've looked at the 6-month blueprint that I share, we're not doing anything trade related for like 6 months. We're going to study our brokerage account. We're going to study options in great detail. Then we're going to learn technical analysis. And then we're going to talk about a trading journal. And it's not till like 6 months until we start talking about a strategy. And then it's maybe not till over a year that you trade with a paper account and virtual money, until you start maybe seeing that you're successful for a good 3 months and you've achieved a specific win rate. And then you can consider depositing real money. So you're next into this stage where you're informed, but you're pessimistic because there's a lot involved. And then you go down into the valley of despair. So this is right at the bottom here. And this is where you're going to face your toughest challenges. Many people give up at this stage, because you realize there's a lot of work involved, and maybe something comes up with your personal life or your family, or you get injured and you miss a few weeks, and then you get discouraged. And then unfortunately at the bottom here, at this valley of despair, everyone sort of quits, and then they go and they find a new opportunity, and they're back to stage one where they're uninformed and optimism, and they start finding something about selling stuff on Amazon or drop shipping, and then they're going to go through that whole cycle. So what you need to do is you need to persevere through that valley of despair. And I don't know where that's going to be with our day trading journey, but it's probably going to be, when you're getting into the bulk of technical analysis perhaps, or you're learning a specific strategy with options and it's confusing, you don't get it, or you're starting to trade and you realize that you've got to journal everything, and you're in a paper account. Maybe you have a few months where you're trading and your strategies aren't going well, and then you give up. So you've got to persevere out of that valley. And that's when you're going to get to stage 4. And now you're kind of coming out of the valley, up the mountain again. And that's called informed optimism. So this is where you're gaining a deeper understanding and you are becoming persistent. So maybe you figured a strategy that worked and you made a few trades and they're going well, and you sort of got the hang of, how to trade in your brokerage, and you sort of know all the hotkeys, and you become really quick at learning how to put on a trade, how to put on a stop loss, and all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to continue to persevere until the final stage, which is achievement, and you've reached some level of success. And maybe you have, traded successfully for like 3 months, and you can start trading real money. So that is the process of wealth creation, but I think it applies to any endeavor, especially day trading as well. We're going to go through this cycle, and it's important to kind of understand that you're going to go through that and have the proper mindset and the proper belief system. And really, if you think of what you really want to do, and you had no chance of failure, would day trading be that thing that you really want to do? If the answer is yes, then, you're probably going to be able to get through that valley of despair and make it to success. But, it's not a linear journey. You're going to have ups and downs, and it's just important to sort of be aware of that when you're getting into this whole journey. So I think that's useful. I hope you found that useful. And then the other thing that we can kind of talk about is talking about your weaknesses, perhaps, and just becoming aware of them. So let's talk about that quickly, and then we'll wrap it up with talking about your identity as well. So I think it's important to be honest with yourself and identify some of your weaknesses. And with enough focus, you can sometimes turn these into your strengths. So personally, I'm going to share mine. And in sharing mine, again, I'm just hoping that maybe you can start thinking about what your weaknesses might be. You might not think you have any. It might take you a while to kind of figure them out, or you might not have any, but I thought I'd share this and it could be helpful for you. So in terms of my weaknesses, one that's related to my current state is just my schedule. So at the time of, making this podcast and where we are in the beginning stages of 2024, I'm currently a stay-at-home dad. So I've got a, year and a half, 18-month-old little guy. He's a great little guy. He's a ball of energy, but that's the arrangement that sort of works best for our family right now. So what this means is that, I've got maybe a 1 to 2 hour break when he naps, and then I have the evenings to work. But I'm quite tired after a day looking after a little toddler. So realistically, I'm doing a lot of this work on the weekend. So this schedule, it's going to change in the summer and in the fall. Things will be different for me, but I need to realize that, I don't have, 12-hour work days like I used to have when I was building my affiliate marketing business. So I really need to understand that I can't waste any time, and I need to have proper expectations. And, I think this is a little bit of a weakness, but I've sort of come to understand that for the time being, I can only do a little bit on the weekend. And, you might be in sort of the same boat. If you're starting day trading as a beginner, then, you might have a job that you're currently working. You might have schedule conflictions where, you can only study on the evenings and weekends. So you really need to decide if this is really what you want to do. You got to spend all your free time sort of studying and going through this process. So that is a weakness for me. Sometimes I get frustrated, but I know that in the future it will change as our family grows up, but that's just the way it is right now. Now, the other sort of weakness that I thought of is sort of has to do with gambling. So maybe not gambling per se, but I've never been super careful with money. And I know that's not a great thing for day trading. If you are sort of on the other spectrum where you kind of count every penny, then maybe you're a bit better going into some of your trades and really protecting your investments. I'm fortunate. I don't currently need the money from day trading. However, I understand that to be successful in the markets, I'm going to need to limit my losses, track all my trades, and be very organized and very disciplined with money. Whereas, I sort of had the tendency that, I'll splurge a little bit, or, I'll gamble at the casino and things like that. So I understand that I need to sort of eliminate that mindset or that urge to gamble and really stay focused on a strategy and not be risky. I tend to kind of lean that way because money, I'm fortunate, is not super tight for me. But in terms of day trading, I know that's not going to help at all. So those are my two sort of weaknesses right now that I can think of. And again, in sharing them, maybe you can think of what your weaknesses are and then focus on them and turn them into your strengths. So what I'm going to try and do with day trading when I set up my trades is I'm going to be very diligent in tracking everything I do and try and really, really preserve my money and not lose anything. Whereas in the past, I wouldn't really worry about making a trade and losing a few $100s here and there. I'm going to really turn these weaknesses, the particular one about being not so careful with money, into one of my strengths. And I'm going to try and focus really hard on that. And then sort of just to wrap up this mindset podcast, I want to talk a little bit about identity. So do you identify as a trader? And I think this is a key component for success. And here's sort of what I mean. In the past, when I wanted to accomplish something, I really tried to make it my identity. And, it's not easy and you can't really do it all at once. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work, but I think it works, or it's at least worked for me. So, for example, I wanted to be way healthier than I was. So I made it my identity to be a healthy person. So, ask myself, does a healthy person eat unhealthy food? No. Does a healthy person exercise every day? Yes. So I eat a clean diet and I exercise every single day because that's who I am. It is my identity. I identify as someone that does not miss a workout any day. And I eat as clean as I can every single day because that's who I am. So when I'm presented with, junk food or an opportunity to, be lazy and not work out, I understand that's not me. Why would I do that? It's not who I am. So I've sort of ingrained that, and it took a while. And I wasn't doing super healthy things every single day, but I'm at the point now where my day is filled with healthy, disciplined actions because I've sort of made that who I am. Now, again, obviously it takes time. It takes a lot of work, but that's really helped me stick to a health routine. And actually, this is how I was successful in the past with my previous business as an affiliate marketer. I became an affiliate marketer. That was my identity. I did everything that successful affiliate marketers do. I was like ingrained that I was a search engine optimization expert. I would, study. I would do all the work. All my free time would be, reviewing sites and doing links and doing content. And that's who I was. That's who I identified as. So now, I'm starting to identify as a trader. I'm just taking it slow. This is the beginning of our journey, but I'm going to start doing all the things that successful traders do. So we're not at the stage where we're trading yet, but as a trader, my identity is going to be, I get up, I do my pre-market check. At the end of every trading session, I'm going to review all my trades in my journal, or on the weekend, I'm going to go over everything. And that's just what successful day traders do. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to identify as. So I know I sort of hammered that point home. I think, it's been really helpful for me in the past on things that I've accomplished and things that I do. I just make it my identity, who I am, and it just makes it easier to stay disciplined and do the things that you need to do. So hopefully that was helpful. So I think we'll wrap it up there. I hope that you found this episode useful. It's a little bit different. We're sort of in the transition from talking about the stock market basics, and now we're going to get into opening up a brokerage account. So subscribe to the podcast. Again, I hope you found it useful. In the show notes, you can find our other YouTube channel and our community on School. And again, in the next episode, we're going to talk about choosing your brokerage account. So this is sort of like the official first step. If you sort of didn't have to do any of this basics on the stock market, or if you have, then we're going to actually take some action. So I'm going to talk about how to choose an account with a brokerage, what a brokerage really is. And I'm going to share the brokerage I'm going with. And then we're going to have all sorts of tutorials about getting familiar with our dashboard in our brokerage. So thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you in the next episode.